Hello everyone and welcome to the third episode of my DDO free-to-play series. I'm going to jump back into where I was last time. And today we're going to be heading over to the Keep on the Borderlands, like I said in the last episode. You can feel more than free to complete the Korthos Island arc. It's a very simple arc and the end rewards are fairly good for this level. I'm skipping them out of personal preference and the fact that this content's covered probably quite a lot already. It's been around for a long time. Keep on the Borderlands is also just my favourite out of the two, so I'm going to be going with that. To get there at this point, you're going to want to head back up to where you entered Korthos. Make sure that we've got a hireling. We do. Now, what we might have to do, we're going to be sticking with level 1 hirelings because we aren't going to go to the harbour yet. Let's grab 2 more of her. We talk to this guy, the gatekeeper. Now it'll give you a warning saying you haven't completed the arc, which means you won't. You're able to come back and complete it perfectly fine. It's just that the scene will be different. There won't be snow. You'll enter Korthos and it'll be sunny, which means players who are still in this scene won't be able to interact with you. It's quite buggy, but you're more than welcome to come back and complete those quests later. Not that you'll be at the right level for very long, but I'm going to be skipping anyway, and it will send you to the keep. This is another public area similar to Korthos. Okay, now we've received mail for some reason. That's a function in the game anytime you achieve a favor reward, as in you get rewarded DDO points, or anytime you've earned enough favor to be in the good books with a certain faction in the game, you will receive mail from them. Also, if you buy anything from the auction house, it'll come to the mailbox. Practically everything in-game that you need to know. Right, it said as I've achieved 5 total favor, I've got 50 additional points, which means we have already unlocked half of the points needed to buy a major expansion. And that's only from playing for about an hour of in-game content. So once we make it to 100, we'll be able to buy Ravenloft, and from there we'll also get Shadowfell Conspiracy and Menace of the Underdark. Now you can see in this area that all of the quests are over here. There are 8 quests in total, I believe. One is unlocked after completing... No, I think you can complete all of them as you wish, actually. 7 of them are level 1. One of them is level 2, which is the final quest. I won't play through all of these, as we simply just don't need all of the experience that they grant. I will play through a large chunk, and also explore the public area, introducing you to slayers and rare encounters. Just picking up every single one. Okay, now that we've got all of that, this is the guy. It would be easy to talk to him and he'll give you each quest one by one, but then you have to recall from the wilderness area and interact with him each time to pick up the next quest. So I find it simpler just to pick up all of them. This is a mount vendor. Basically, you collect tokens inside the Borderlands, you hand them into him, and he'll reward you with a horse to ride around on, which you can ride in public areas and in wilderness areas, but not in quests. And that just lets you move around faster. I won't be doing it in this life because it takes quite a while to grind out all the feathers, but all you really have to do is go to the rare encounters, get a feather token. You need 15, keep on collecting them, and once you have 15 you'll be able to unlock the horse if you want one. I don't really see the need on this character, so I won't be doing it. Cast jump on myself. As you can see, that took spell points, but I can now jump higher, and you will see the increase as you go to your stats. It'll show up. Plus 10 increase, and that would be the spell. Now, to get to the area where the quests are, you just need to follow this path.
The keep on the Borderlands
Carve
was built
through.
to protect this valley. Constant monster attacks have driven the valley's residents to take refuge behind the keep's walls.
One of my favorite wilderness areas, actually, and it's one of the more recent ones. If you can appreciate the the beauty of DDO's graphics. Now this is...
You get an uneasy feeling as you approach this ancient altar.
Don't know if this is a rare encounter. This is... You collect crests around the wilderness area to unlock another quest, I believe, or another area. That might be required to get the chest, actually. Can't say I've done that. It's optional, though. If you head over there, you'll find a rare encounter with a scarecrow. Rare encounters don't spawn every single time you're in a wilderness area. It'll vary from each time you enter which ones will spawn, and if you want to be able to kill all of them and get the end reward here, you'll need to rejoin multiple times to find all of them. The Slayer reward is just a kill count. You'll get rewards at each increment, and Explorer is just walking through enough places that you've seen everything that the public area has to offer. Map here is blacked out. When you re-enter a wilderness area that you've been to before, you will see the paths. The map will have already been filled out, so you can follow your old routes. It's really quite simple. The quests are in an odd place in this public area. Managed to jump up there. Rare encounter spawns in front of that house sometimes, but we haven't got that one either. Cast my chill touch, and it killed the beetle. Missed. As you can see, they're not really a challenge. You should never have a hard time with wilderness creatures, especially if you're at the right level. They're quite weak by nature. I should have swapped out Expeditious Retreat as my spell at this level so I could run faster. Got some shrines for whatever reason. We don't have Featherfall yet. Featherfall is an enchantment that allows you to not take full damage when jumping from places. I need to remind myself I don't have it, or I might die.
The ravine walls. These must be the Caves of Chaos, where the cultists and their monster allies have made their base.
Okay, which entrance is this? The Treasury. So as you can see, we're getting to the quest entrances inside of the wilderness area, which is very common. We got Treasure Hunt. We can only play on normal. Now when you enter a quest, all your buffs will be dispelled, so if you want them, you cast them. I won't be casting Master's Touch because I don't have a weapon to use it on. It's just sitting there.
The door behind you seals shut as you enter. There's now only one way to go. Forward.
So, typical collect the crest
this cave is said to
situation.
contain much treasure. A burly minotaur stands behind a magical barrier, guarding a pile of treasure. Always more. Always more. The minotaur snorts.
We've got a fire trap.
Greed draws you adventurers like moths to the flame.
Don't know if we can disable this fire. Yeah, we can.
Starving in my cave with the treasure just out of reach.
You stay here. So I'm going to set my hireling so she isn't turned into barbecue. And amble over. See why my tumble skill isn't working. Total mod 1, ability mod -1, so something is causing that to be decreased. I'm not entirely sure what at this point. Maybe this disables, hold on. No, I don't know what it is. It's probably something very obvious that I'm not
This crest
seeing.
matches one of the sockets on the Minotaur's barrier. There must be more somewhere in the cave.
I think this is an optional area, from recollection.
The webs that cover the walls of this part of the cave quiver for an instant. Then, a massive spider lunges out of the shadows.
Optional enemies like this oftentimes give you a chest that you can collect. This one doesn't seem to have that, but I recommend, whether you do optionals and quests or not is entirely dependent on the reward. Well, for me anyway. Some optionals are just not worth your time. Other ones are definitely worth your time, and that I do every time. Okay, thank you. We've looped around. We've got another full puzzle. Hopefully I don't struggle with this one like last time. I don't think it should be a problem. One more crest. Oh, where could you be? If I get lost in a level 1 quest, I'm gonna feel quite out of place. What have we got? 10%. There's one quest one crest is eluding me. She's still standing there. There we go. And I believe we have to kill something for this. Yes. See if that gets us ransacked. Yes, so we got our 15% bonus.
This
Now,
should be enough crests to fill all of the sockets on the Minotaur's barrier.
just got to navigate back around to the start.
With all 3 crests neatly fitted into their sockets,
Very easy on
the
normal.
magical barrier
And you will
fades.
find that these starter quests
The
are very simple,
infuriated Minotaur gives a
even on
roar
the
of
simplest
rage
difficulty.
and attacks. The Minotaur's bellow is cut short as it collapses.
Nice.
Now the treasure the creature
Well,
had been guarding is yours for the taking.
not particularly useful for us, but I've actually never had that drop before, so... And we don't have a hat. Why not? And you've collected them. I've completed this one here. It was a very simple quest. And as you can see here, we have received a reward that has feather falling, which means that enchantment basically means you don't take full damage, which is incredibly useful. It's something I have on my character the whole life without taking it off. It's quite a helpful enchantment, probably my favourite. Some shrines for some reason. Now that I have feather falling, I can jump without fear of damage.
Small, squalid cave entrances dot the ravine walls. These must be the Caves of Chaos, where the cultists and their monster allies have made their base.
Shunned Cavern. We probably won't be running all the quests in this pack because it's a bit excessive. We don't need all of them for the amount of XP a first life requires. I'll just be running my favourites. Caged Beast is a good one. All of these quests are really quite good for the level. As you enter a
Judging
dungeon,
from the
all your
old
buffs will be
bones
dispelled.
scattered on the floor, something large and dangerous has lived in this cave
So,
for some time.
Gonna buff up.
But the flicker of torchlight ahead suggests that there have been some more recent arrivals.
Get that lever. Okay, you've met the hobgoblins.
The cult of evil chaos has set up camp in this cave, with the goal of capturing and taming the beast that lives within.
Over here are what's called collectibles. You'll eventually get a bag to keep them in, and collectibles are used in the Canith crafting system. I won't be using the Canith crafting system very much in this series. I could show you, outline it later on, but it's not something that I need to really delve into, especially for a first life character. It's good to collect them, but I'm not going to be using them. Pick up that silver.
With the Beastmaster defeated, you must now confront the creature he tried to tame.
Signal crystals are also a large part of quests in DDO. They're really just keys that are used to open doors further in the dungeon. shrines. Must say, it is very hard to die at this level with the types of quests we're doing. I'd rather not have that eat me.
You spot skittering vermin inside the cavern chamber ahead.
Oof.
You can also see the nest of something much larger.
Okay, this could possibly do some damage.
You've slain the owlbear, ending the cult's plan to make the beast into a weapon they could use against the residents of the valley.
So we've got the thin black cloak with a dex boost, which we'll use because our dexterity is awful. As you can see, these quests are very quick. That that happens to look horrific, I think. So what you can do to toggle cosmetics is go into your bar, you can toggle armor or the cloak. I'm turning the cloak off because I hate it. You get cosmetics from various events, or you can pay for them. That's gory. But I don't have any on this account, obviously. So we're just going to recall and try out some other ones. In my opinion, the keep has the best items at this level. Though we've already got feather falling, you can find a cloak, for example, that's level 1 feather falling, which is useful for future characters. We're going to skip the Temple of Evil Chaos because that's the level 2 quest. Cut over to the Hobgoblin Caves. As you can see there, if you click on something inside the map, it'll give you directions on how to get to that particular area with an arrow. Hopefully I can find a great sword of some description so I can use Master's Touch. Again, no buffs, so if you want to be casting these you can. There really isn't a need for jump in this area. I'm purely doing it because it's
You
there.
enter the caves, determined to eliminate another threat to the residents of the keep.
Pop a map. Got a locked door.
The lock on this stout door does not look pickable.
The Dungeon Master will occasionally give you little hints like that, so don't even bother trying to pick this. Which is quite handy because I sometimes do it anyway.
As the last goblin dies, you notice something glittering
Key?
in the debris under the makeshift wooden walkway. The guardroom
we're in.
door opens with the squeal of metal
Now,
on metal.
it's generally good practice to
Rousing
kill the
guards on the far
spellcasters as
side.
soon as you can because they tend to deal the most damage, especially at earlier levels. I get them out of the way straight away before dealing with the melee combatants. Okay. Getting my melee, ransack bonus as per usual. Something you'll see me do pretty much every quest. This is a shrine room, but there's also a lever. It doesn't usually happen that way. Usually in a quest, if there's a shrine room, there won't be anything crucial to the quest inside.
Flares to life as the lever is pulled. Somewhere in the tunnels, another crystal respawns. You hear the squeal of rats from the doorway ahead.
It's been a long time since I've run a first life character, so playing at this difficulty is unusual for me. That is a good drop though. We don't usually see much fortification at this level. It's far more useful than what we have on. Fortification is basically your protection against critical hits. So you want to get it to at least 100 as a heroic character. You can go as high as you want though, and I often go towards 200 by the end of a life, just to be safe, really. Because critical hits or sneak attacks can kill you on the spot if you're not careful, no matter what your build is. It's just good to be protected against that. These are your saves, obviously they're dependent on your stat points. So reflex is dependent on dexterity, Will is dependent on wisdom, I believe. And fortitude is constitution. So all those stats are important. For this character though, we're going to be shooting from afar, so hopefully we don't need to rely on that kind of thing too much. As a rogue as well, we have better reflexes.
The red crystal begins to glow, and the sound of stone scraping on stone echoes out from the goblin's common area.
We've got an optional boss.
A foul stench wafts out from this newly opened cavern.
I'm going to kill him because I want his chest. Impulsive Orb of Necromancy focus. Now we want Necromancy focus because we're playing a Pale Trapper, and a Pale Trapper is a combination of a Pale Master, which is basically a Necromancer, and a Trapper. So Necromancy DC, that basically means all of our Necromancy spells, like this SLA here, and other spells will affect enemies with greater ease. Like they'll hit more often. There won't be any saves the enemy can make to protect against them. So they're very important to have. You'll be looking for void and nullification weapons and armor to boost your necromancy spell power.
This heavy iron-bound door is fitted with an impeccable magical lock.
Now I've done confused myself. This is part of the joy when you're narrating as well. You tend to miss certain things that are probably quite important. Yes, in this case we missed a room at the end. And some boxes.
As the door opens, a small goblin cries out, "Me chief now! You go away!"
I didn't last
The
long.
goblin falls. Looking around, you spot an iron key in the back of the chamber.
Now, sorry to waste your time, but now we're going to head back to that door. Checking my spell points. So at the moment, Force is the biggest boost we have, probably because I've got that item on me. The other spell power is a bit low at the moment, so we're going to want to find items to buff those up a fair bit, especially the negative stat. We're going to be dealing as much as possible. These spell powers are a direct translation to a percentage increase on the damage you're doing. So for example, Force 52 means our Force spells are doing 52% more damage than they would if we had no spell power bonuses. Certain skills increase your spell power as well. Heal increases your negative and positive spell power, and Spellcraft increases all the others bar like Rust and Repair. So you want to get those skills up as a mage.
The door swings open on well-oiled hinges, startling the hobgoblins on the far side.
Can't wait to get Quicken meta magic. It'll mean I cast this a lot faster. At the moment it's fairly sluggish.
You hear the sounds of guttural chanting coming from the chamber ahead.
We killed the Chanter. One hit, which is always nice. Now, there's a Rune Puzzle.
A magical barrier seals off the passage. Perhaps the magical runes on the wall are the key to opening
Now,
it.
bear with me with this puzzle. They will show you a pattern and then you have to repeat it. Sometimes I get it wrong. That one's easy. That's the easiest one I've ever seen. I believe these are randomly generated. Managed to get it the first time. Usually I stand there like an idiot for a few minutes. My short-term memory is awful. Okay. hear a trap from here.
A massive iron gate bars this passage.
There we go. Something to disable, perhaps? No? Doesn't appear to be...
Something about this section of the wall seems off.
We hit our ransack target? Yes, we have. The lever in the corner. There are definitely quicker ways you could be accumulating XP. Well, I mean, there aren't really as a first life character because you're restrained to normal difficulty, but you could be optimizing what quests you do in terms of like the XP rewards. I'm just playing my favorites or anything I find interesting.
The hobgoblin
This quest is
chieftain
quite good.
slumps to the ground, dead.
Okay, sturdy boots, useless to me. Blindness immunity is fairly useful with the yellow augment slot, but I've already got a decent pair of goggles. I'll grab them anyway. Don't know what this leads to, but can unlock it though. Success. This might be a chest room. Yes. Perks of being a rogue. Unlock this one too. Cool. So we've got some bonus treasure. And that gives us a very nice orb for this level. Potency is always great as it increases every single type of spell power. Do I have a full inventory or something? No? Okay. Yeah, that's got to be better. Even though it doesn't have the necromancy DC, I'm going to go for this one anyway. Strikes me as better all round. Okay, so we'll probably run another quest around here. We'll go for Kobold Caves.
Small, squalid cave entrances dot the ravine walls. These must be the Caves of Chaos, where the cultists and their monster allies have made their base.
Cast these for some reason. Trap.
Most of the kobolds scramble to defend their cave at the sight of you, while one of their number scampers away.
So we disabled the trap that would have sent us down there to whatever horrible fate awaited us. One of the best parts of playing a rogue character is just being able to explore the entire dungeon freely. As you can see, we've completed a deed in our monster manual because we've got the prologue. This probably means, if we check it out, yeah, we can start to see some stats about rats. You'll get XP boosts for killing certain amounts or certain types. You'll get account deeds, and finally, the mastery for this creature means you can see the hit points. Not very useful in my opinion, but that's what you get. Sometimes you'll receive a companion animal or other cool
You spy a humongous rat on top
things.
of a pile of garbage. And its many vassals
He's given me a
emerge from the
disease.
shadows.
Doesn't look like
Now
my
that
highling
that
can cure
king
disease
rat
either.
is dead. Long live the new king. You.
Oh, I'm king of the
first order
filth.
of business might as well be to survey your domain.
A lever? Have I already pulled that? This is how good my memory is. Well, that was just sad.
You slide through the muck and refuse into a pool of stagnant slop.
I've essentially just gone round to where we
just
would have
not
been
your
if we
day.
dropped down in the first place. Should probably brush up on these quests before I run them. When we get to the harbour, I promise I know them like the back of my hand. At least we got the optional enemy though. That's always a bonus.
An elderly kobold rouses her tribe for battle to defend their home. The kobolds that rally appear scrawnier and more panicked than the ones you fought before.
I tend to just loot everything so I can sell it later down the track. You don't need to, but I don't see why you wouldn't. Sometimes it does become a pain to clear out your inventory before each quest, but you do gain more inventory slots as you get higher favour and progress in the game. That's an explosive barrel, which will deal damage, especially on harder difficulties. These are some tasty hams. So very lucky. So yes, they heal a hit point in a minute. Nice regeneration effect. Some more treasure. There we go. We have defeated the whole kingdom of kobolds. Flame ring. I've also never had this drop, but that is quite nice. That would have been good for my sorcerer actually. Replace the water breathing. At this point the water breathing ring is kind of useless. I don't think you need water breathing until later in the game, and then at that point you can just get underwater action enhancements or achievements. It's just not necessary. Alright, well I think that wraps it up for this episode. I might run a few more quests in the Borderlands next time. Should check to see if I've got any enhancements. I've unlocked another point which I'll spend next time. You can't spend them in wilderness areas, you have to be in a public area. But thanks for watching and I hope it was helpful in some way. I'll see you next episode.